Recently on CNN, there was an article about sleeping with your dog. It said it's not healthy, and I'm not sure why people sleep with a dog in the first place. I mean, I've been saying all along that this thing is so trivial, and it has to do with the demoralization of the human being. Because Sesame Street and Scooby Doo and all of these little trivial shows that children watch have influenced them so profoundly that the result is that they've taken themselves to the lower themselves and humanity to the level of the animal kingdom, or exalted the animal kingdom to the family, so that they sit at the table, then they all eat out of the same plate. They'll be eating, put the hand down, the dog lick and eat, and then you take that same hand and eating the chicken and so on. And I just don't understand how folks could have been this naive, bordering on dumb. I've seen big people in Washington kissing the dog on television. Vets doing the same thing. And they will say things like, oh, it doesn't have any disease. We give it vaccines and so on. But they don't seem to understand. And it's natural because you know how the education is. Folks don't study nothing. They just amble through the course and get the diploma as a reward for paying up the fees and being nice and all that. And then they come out talking like if they know what they're talking about. It's happening in economics in all walks of life. However, a dog is a scavenger. Your dog that you have, you're driving a Porsche and in your Mercedes Benz and your Rolls Royce is just equal to the dog that is a stray in the community. They all have the same genetics and the same disposition. It's just that yours is conditioned to different stuff. People have said that when they ate pooch left home and went to eat something in the corner, it end up getting sick. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know what really they ate or what went on. But the situation is this: they were made as scavengers, and as a scavenger, they were supposed to go and, like the lions and tigers, they thin out the herd of migrating animals, the sick and the elderly and the handicapped and so on. These are the ones they normally get and eat up, and they just be happy. Now, um, for example, dog feed, dog food. Some people buy it and eat it and so on, and trying to save money. They're saying, well, hey, it's clean, it's hygiene and whatever. But when I was living in Central or passing through Central California, through the Farm Belvedere, the animal husbandry area, I've seen in Tulare County, in places like Porterville and so on, you pass through and you see they have a dead calf or cow outside the barn, and they're waiting for a truck to come and pick it up and take it to a factory where they will do whatever and they'll process it into animal food. Now, nobody takes time to find out what killed this animal. It could be a virus, it could be a bacteria, it could be heat, it could be a variety of things. But let me look at if it were some bacteria or some virus. They just take it. They're not going to do any tests. They, do whatever they need to do, take all the bones and so on, and they just put it into the pot and cook it up and put things together and so on and package it and sell it to for dog feed. You see, in microbiology, you will discover that what kills you is not necessarily the bacteria, it's the toxins that the bacteria produce. So that unless you're aware of that, let me say you were to get your hamburger left it there and flies went in it, and you're seeing it looking like maggots in it or whatever. Or, you take out the maggots, put it in the microwave, and you make sure that, or you put it in the oven, you make sure the temperature goes real high. So you kill the bacteria and say, yes, I got the bacteria. But the substances that the bacteria had produced, unless that is removed, that is what's going to kill you. Because it can get into your system and it's going to cause the organs to fail and all this kind of stuff. So that when the dogs eat this food, which has the toxins, it doesn't kill them because their bodies are made in such a way that it could handle that. I remember in Trinidad, we were warned not to eat vultures. But this guy, he got smart. He said, you know what? I'm going to catch this crow and eat it. Took it home. saute it, did all you need to do, cook it, boil it real good and eat it. And he ended up in the hospital because although this animal, this bird was cooked well and all that, the toxins in the blood and in the body, in the cells and so on, were still there. So the bacteria might have been killed if bacteria infested the bird, but the toxin is what killed this guy. What sent him in the hospital. If he hadn't gone to the hospital, he probably could have died. I'm not sure if he had any long-term effects anyway. So when you have these animals in bed with you, and you notice whenever you have your dog at home and run out in the yard, you don't know what the dog does. He licks himself, licks others, even his anus he licks. So you have the where's the bacteria? E. coli bacteria from the feces. And you might go and lick some other dog that, has some run-ins or some nasty stuff. You go to eat something at the side of the road that you don't even know. So he comes back in and he's looking good and everything, and you start kissing his face. You're looking to give yourself some serious disease. I don't know if the vet could have affected the bacteria or virus that he was infected with, but in the interim, you can get hurt. And even if it were to kill the pathogen, the organism, still you have the substance, the toxic substance that could hurt you. Um, this story is talk with a pig. You bathe it and you clean it up well, and he goes out and you roll in the mud again. That's the nature. Your dog, um, you might want to take him down the road walking and so on. You see him doing stuff, you don't know what he's doing. And but if you let him go by himself and he smells some carrion out there, some decomposed dog where it had been removed, he's gonna roll up in that. But you might wash him off or whatever. So he comes in your bed. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you let this dog come in bed with you? I mean, we know that various viruses is like jumping from pig to birds and to humans and all this stuff. Things jump across. So in my view, it wasn't surprising. In our cultures, I was only the rich people, I guess, have dogs in the homes and go to the vets and so on. We have a dog, it's outside. Rain, lightning, whatever, he's outside. Sometimes you got to supplement the little bit you could give him by hunting stuff, go and get some carrion and eat and whatever. But they're around and they bark and warn you of intruders and so on. So when I come to America and I see people with cats in the lap on the plane with them and the same hand and going to eat the food and all that stuff, it's like, and they both eating, give the dog the ice cream and then lick back the ice cream and saying, okay. I mean, do we have to have a big study in that? Figures folks can't figure this out. I mean, folks, be careful now.